Hey, welcome to a video. I'm doing a playmat for a Pokemon fan. He really loves Pokemon so much, and he also likes Digimon, so he commissioned me to do this playmat. I have posted it on my blog before, so I thought it'd be interesting, or fun at least, to have a video of you guys watching, a little update. Now I do listen to music as I work. I feel like it helps loosen up stuff, so I'll be talking with that. Right now we'll be working on Ash Ketchum. This character I think is really famous amongst Pokemon fans. I liked him when I watched him myself. Now usually I would like to do a grid system, but since this particular image is low quality, I'm gonna try to do my best to replicate it freehand style. It's harder, but I feel like I can get a knack for it. And I don't have any technology to speed up drawings, so I'm sorry ahead of time that I don't have that kind of technology. I mean, someday maybe I will, but we'll see. Now, naturally, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know. This is like my first playmat thing I'm ever doing, so I don't really know if I can erase it easily or if anything can get complicated. Looks like erasing might be a possibility, but it might be a bitch, so I guess I have to work with it. I'm gonna draw a line here, so I know where the midline is. Gonna draw a little nose. Do a little anime style here. Yeah, I don't know what generation this is, but Ash looks like a bum. So, I don't know, design-wise here, but I guess people like wanting him to look like a bum. Maybe it's a Digimon character, I don't know, I can never tell. And I watched Pokemon, I watched Digimon as well, but usually I start in pencil, that way I can have a solid idea of like, conceptual idea of what things should look like. This particular image I really didn't like doing, and I guess but I'm doing it anyway because my friend wants it done and I've been putting it off too long, thanks to work and, well, college mainly, and other stuff, but I could see why he'd be frustrated. I mean, I'm not blaming him, I'm not gonna say that he's wrong, but it gets kind of stressful having, like, you're working on stuff and then, someone's like, hey, do this, and then you're just like, oh, I forgot to do that. Then it's just like, well, come on, man. And then it's like that awkward kind of stuff. Sorry if I say foul language. I'm gonna try to keep it, mature. But if I end up, swearing here and there, forgive me. Actually, I'm trying to like this form a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's exactly the same as the image, but it's like 80%. What's going off? Crazy stuff, I tell you. It's a crazy world. Oh, it's Facebook. Usually there is a sense of like proportion I try to keep, but if it's really it's a low quality image, so I mean I'm just doing my best, and I tried looking for better qualities, and they don't exist. So you tell me. I mean, I don't think it's troublesome. I think it will eventually help. Like, I'm putting a little bit more of a creative imagination to this character, so because literally Ash looks so boring in this one. I mean, I don't understand why they went with this design. I would have just gone with normal baseball cap kind of idea here. Okay, no, I let this joke run too far. I am not doing Pokemon. I'm actually doing Magic. I'm doing Magic characters. So yeah, this character, I don't know his name. I think his name is Norn the Wary, and every image I try finding of him, this comes out in low resolutions. So I have to deal with this. This is an everyday occurrence with this guy. It's just like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess I have to deal with low resolutions. So instead of like complaining and doing that, I mean it's a pain. I'm just doing the best. I mean, it may not look like the best out of the playmat, but it won't look. My goal mainly is make it look good to I want him to feel a little happy having this, and have a little effort into it. So I want something that looks presentable. I don't want. I mean, again, if it looks like a turd, it looks like a turd. Shit happens, but I mean, so far I think this is pretty good. I mean, the head is, yeah, he has really weak little wavy limbs. So I mean, that's really why it's weird. And I'm also adding more detail, like, so like you don't, you start with these minor details, then you realize, oh, I forgot to add something, then something's completely messed up. I mean, I think there's other images that he gave me that is a little better resolution, and I'm kind of excited to do those. But this one is just, I gotta guess. Well, not guess, but like I have to deal with low resolution and trying to like add the details better. I don't know, like, and also, like, this is not my usual style. I usually draw. I don't really like doing medieval stuff. I mean, I want to do something that's like Castlevania, but I mean, I haven't done anything like that, and I haven't even gone farther in that design-wise, conceptually. So this is really the one that I just didn't want to do. I just didn't want to work on this per se. But I mean, and it's just like I could have asked him, oh, is it okay to do something else? But I just didn't want to make things a little too easy. I want, a little challenge here so I can get better. And, if I fail here, I fail here, and that's the way of life. Again, I don't think this is necessarily a bad one. It's just, and from my understanding, he's small, so this is what the image portrays. And I think even the guy who commissioned me to do this said he's a smaller guy, so. Yeah. Hey, I can relate to him because I'm so small. Ho ho! Making short jokes. Yeah, today has been a very stressful day. Actually, this whole, time of the month, this whole week, maybe that month, has been really stressful. But it's just me trying to balance a lot of stuff out. I mean, it's just there are times where I feel like I either don't have enough time to work on what I should be doing, or I spend time in other class. I don't know. It's just it's so weird and uncomfortable of a schedule, and especially that like I am trying to graduate on top of that is ridiculous. Oh, it's that song. I want that song. So I'm really picking the music I listen to. I'm not sure if you can pick up the music I listen to, but yeah, it's just I have a huge array setup. I'm gonna go with next song. Okay, cool. I can go with this. My mentality with music is I borrowed it from a friend of mine. Play on random. That way nothing gets old. But also if you want to skip songs, you can. And then if you're skipping a lot, just say, hey, next song is gonna be the one I'm gonna stop and listen to, and then deal with it, because the time you spend doing that is ridiculous. So I usually just try to settle on something that's like whatever, I'll deal with it. Alright, I think I'm ready to put some Sharpie on here. And now at this part, alright, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. Alright. I think you get a better image. Yeah. Okay, so at this point, I put the Sharpie in. I get a Sharpie here. I just outline general stuff. This is really where some of the general details come into play. I learned that a lot in like my art classes, general to specific, and that's really true actually. And you know, learning these kind of little tricks, you kind of feel like that anyone can do art. I mean, you just have to kind of be slow and a little bit fast at the same time. I mean, one of the techniques that I learned as well is go fast to slow. So you usually go really fast and then you go really slow. So here it's a little mix of that. Since I want to get like little general like stuff down, but if I go really fast, then I might make a mistake. If I go slow, I can plan each stroke out, but I don't want to go too slow. It's weird. I can't really explain it very well, but like if you go too slow, then I find it that you kind of lose track of what you're trying to do, and things get a lot more messed up. So there's a little, you have to find that nice balance of fast and slow, and it's not an easy thing to find. It's actually really hard. Also, what's nice about Sharpie, which is a lot different than pencil, is you can't shade like a normal pencil, like with a marker. You really have to do cross-hatching, and at first I didn't know exactly how to do it, but it's really something you pick up along the way. I'm liking this video a lot actually. The more I'm doing this, this is my first like drawing, as I talk video. And I gotta say, I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna do more of these. But yeah, see, I made a little fuck up on his nose, but to me, it's just, you're saying it's so far away that you're not gonna really pay attention to some details. So like, I feel like if you're doing like a small figure like this, it's okay to make small mistakes in the figure, because the overall image will make up for it. It's tough, but it's a sacrifice you have to be willing to make. And I know a lot of perfectionists that would just look at me like, what the fuck are you smoking, Theo? Oh, sorry again, I said the F word. But anyways, it's like you can't win everything when you're drawing. It's literally a compromise between how much detail you want and how much you get. I mean, and most of the time you can get what you want. You can. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's something that you kind of have to expect. You kind of expect to fail when you do stuff. Like, I failed so much along the way of doing this, but I think ultimately it's really very well done, I feel like. And usually the way I try to approach this is, how would I want it to look like for me? And a lot of people say like, well, art should be more about, the person you're selling it to and all that, but to me that's bogus. You really want to please yourself. Because if you're trying to please someone else, you can just be working on something for like years and then it never get done because that guy's never happy. And I'm really excited about this. If you're not excited about something that you're doing, then no one's gonna do it. No one's gonna be excited for you. So you gotta really sell your work. You gotta really make that commitment to say that, hey, look, this is awesome, and I really think I did a good job, and then they all think that as well. But yeah, I think this is a really good drawing from what I was expecting. Like, I don't think it's the best. I mean, there's some on this playmat that look so much better, but this is not really that bad. And I know like some people would try to go for that realism, like without no outlines and all that, but I find it that with this kind of medium, like since this is like a card type game, outlining isn't bad. I think it really works with this kind of style, and it makes it more interesting, way more interesting. And I wouldn't necessarily say that having outlines necessarily ruins a piece. I would never say that. It depends on, ultimately it depends on what you're going for, and if you're trying to go for realism, you're not going to want outlines. But if you want, something that's cool and it's fun and, something that's unique, yeah, go for it, man. I mean, I really think this is really what makes this piece really fun for me is, I find myself when I do, like, photorealistic stuff, I get really bored and confused. Well, not bored, but it's just like I get stuck easily. Because I'm always trying to, because I don't grasp a lot of concept very well. And that's not to say that, I'm a terrible artist or, whatever. And I'm not blaming, the people who taught me, but at the same time, though, like, it's something that is personal. Like, you have to understand what you're doing sometimes, and if the person who's teaching you isn't doing a good job, then that might not be him, it might be the actual person, and that's really the problem with a lot of artists is, or the art field in general, and how people perspect it, because they think that everyone in art is some brilliant artist, and that's not true. I've seen a lot of artists who are art majors, who I personally think shouldn't be art majors, but, that they want to do it. It's their, little forte. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people think that I shouldn't be an art major, but, here I am, doing art stuff. And to me, a lot of people also say, like, oh, you gotta have the commitment, and you really have, and that's true to a fault. Because there are times where I'm working on something and nothing works out because I don't have a groove going on, and then, like, shit happens where, things look bad and nothing I do makes it look good, and then if I take a break and then get back to it, I can do amazing stuff. So that's really why most of the time I take my time with art. I don't really think expecting a shit ton of hours to be done is really insane, but at the same time, though, you should have some dedication and some kind of motivation for it, and then hopefully it gets you somewhere. This is a weird light, but I decided to do it that way. And another fun thing about this is it's really, you're discovering a lot about yourself when you do this stuff. Like, I'm learning a lot about myself as I do this. Like, I'm learning how there are times where I'm a perfectionist, where I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good, and, whatever. And that can hold you back as well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can hold you back when you do an art piece. And and people get a lot of, and it's easy to defend artists as well. They're very thin-skinned people. Now, I like to think of myself as very thick-skinned. Like, I can take criticism, but I don't know. I don't know if I could. A lot of people compliment me, and the only person who talked crap about my painting was my professor, really, and I respect him for that, because, you need that objective kind of opinions. I mean, I have another friend who gives me a hard time as well, but he does it in the sake of good. He's not like he's telling me that I should kill myself or anything, but, he's telling me, oh, you should, work a little better. Come on, man, you can do better than this, and that is kind of like something I like. I think the idea that, you can't be too critical is ridiculous, and schools are even getting, too, wussy. Like, I'm glad I went to school the time that I did, because, no one was being a wussy about it. If you fail, they, made sure you knew that. Now it's like, well, we can't have red ink because that is insulting, and I think that's stupid. I think, kids should feel dumb when they get things wrong, because that gives them a reason to be smarter, is to try harder. I mean, you don't have to tell them that, oh, you're dumb and kill yourself, but you don't need to necessarily, be nice to them about it. I mean, you could at least tell them, like, you could do better than this, but come on, this is kind of stupid, It's something that, you need some negative reinforcement in a kid's life, and I think that's really dumb in the education system. So back to art, yeah, I feel it's a little ridiculous when, some professors grade it, and some grade it weird, some grade it, smart. Well, I'm as done as I can with this, so I'm gonna end this part of the video.